Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back with another video. I kind of just wanted to make a video about the current presidential race. Bernie Sanders obviously dropped out yesterday, or at the time of this recording, which is, I want to say April 9th. Yeah, April 9th. And basically, it's down to Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Obviously, Trump is our president now, but I just kind of wanted to provide some commentary from the mind of someone. This is my first year voting. I'm 18. I'm registered to vote. I actually go to school in Pennsylvania, but I'm registered in Georgia, and I was fully anticipating to vote in my state's primary before it got delayed due to like coronavirus and that type of stuff. But first off, congrats to Bernie Sanders. He ran a very brilliant campaign. For the most of the time, I thought he was going to be the nominee before he ultimately lost. But he still ran a very good campaign. A lot of my friends, a lot of my young friends in college are passionate Sanders supporters. So I saw a lot of that youth movement firsthand, which is something I'm going to touch on later. But I believe his campaign was definitely well run. It exposed many facets of the Democratic Party that we can change, we can use in Biden's campaign. I hope Bernie actually endorses Biden because I think that will be key to defeating Trump. I think the ultimate goal is to defeat Trump, and I think if Bernie endorses Biden, that would be one of the two main things. I think Trump needs to have another scandal. Something bad needs to happen. Obviously, he's mishandling this coronavirus panic, but I think something else bad needs to happen for him to lose this election. Hopefully, not at the cost of American lives, but I think another scandal needs to happen for him to lose that support. But I think Bernie also needs to support Biden as the eventual nominee. So I just kind of wanted to talk about my thought process. I'm obviously at an age now where I can watch the news for myself, not necessarily just being influenced by my parents. My parents voted for Obama, voted for Clinton. They're passionate Democratic. Well, my mom and dad are kind of split. My mom is more so passionately Democratic Party. My dad votes for the person over the party. Because he voted for H.W. Bush, then he voted for Clinton, and or not H.W., the first George Bush in 1988, and then he voted for Clinton, and then he voted for Al Gore, and so on. But I guess I kind of just want to touch on the youth movement. Being young is something I believe that carries more weight now. In the older generations, there were more restrictions about youth subculture, that type of thing. We were almost kind of being suppressed. But now we have many outlets to kind of express where we want to talk about this. Twitter is the biggest one. Many people have become activists just by mobilizing on Twitter, which I find kind of funny. Sean King is one of the biggest on that platform who has been able to create like North Star, which is like his website / magazine and that type of thing. But that's the biggest. Social media, I think, is the biggest thing that is essential to having a good campaign. I think Bernie Sanders had by far the best social media mobilization of any candidate, and I believe that was important for him staying in this long. Because Bernie Sanders got kind of swept up pretty quickly by Hillary Clinton, and then Biden didn't do as well as Clinton did, but Biden still kind of beat him in all the primaries, in most of the primaries, not all. But I think the youth culture is something that is important for any candidate to be able to win. I think this is a demographic that will be showing up more to the polls come November, especially in the following years as they understand more about how the vote is important and that type of thing. But I do believe that is also a reason why Sanders lost, because no young people showed up to the polls. I mean, if that's your main group who's supporting you, you gotta show up, gotta vote. I know we always talk about how the old white man is the main demographic that's making decisions for our country, but I place the blame on people like me. Um, I voted for Biden in the primary, so you can you can't, or I was planning to vote for Biden. I didn't vote for Biden, but you can't necessarily get mad at people like me who actually voted, lump me in with them who didn't vote, and then blame all young people. But I just believe that from the mind of a young person, the issues that I'm looking to see in a candidate is someone who will fight to make my future better. So from that, Brexit in 2016, I want to say 2016 or 17, was a major thing where it got a lot of youth revolt against it because they're like, no, we don't want our future to be hampered by people who don't want to join the European Union. But old people were voting for it very, very vibrantly, and eventually the measure passed, and now the Great Britain is not in the European Union, which is something that will affect them financially in the long term. It's just a bad situation for everyone involved. Um, but I just believe us as young people, we need to mobilize and we need to show out in the polls. If we truly want to create the change that we wish to see, we need to show up in the polls, we need to vote, we need to advocate for better transportation, better facilities, like closer facilities, because gerrymandering is a very well and alive problem in terms of racism, racist politics, that type of thing in many states, even in my own state, Georgia, but in North Carolina, Wisconsin's a big one. There's a lot of examples of gerrymandering, and that needs to change. Um, but I just believe us as young people hold the most valuable keys in this election, and the future elections to come. And obviously, that demographic's going to grow because more kids are going to become of age to vote, and that type thing. So we need to also get our friends on board with the idea that this is our world. We can't vote for policies that will destroy the world in the future. Climate change. I know our president is a pretty big climate change denier. Many people in the Republican Party are, and that's not to be partiist, but vote for policies that endorse climate change, that say we need to stop it, that endorse policies that believe in climate change, um, not necessarily endorse climate change or fossil fuels, that type of thing. Obviously, in North Dakota and South Dakota, fracking is a big one, and there were many people who advocated against fracking. Measures were passed in South Dakota, Fargo, that type of thing, to stop fracking after young people came out and spoke against it. So I just wanted to make this kind of to say us young people hold one of the most valuable things in this election, and we have the power to change it, but it takes from us the mobilization, the communication. I'm not telling you to vote for anyone in particular, but it takes for us to be focused. It takes for us to be educated on the issues we're voting on and that type of thing. Thank you.